Election day, our next guest has been hitting the campaign trail for Donald Trump. Let's welcome Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin. Markwayne, good to see you. Listen,
What's up, Sean?
In politics, you never get a better pulse than being on the ground. And you're on the ground, traveling states, working for President Trump, and just are you picking up what Sean O'Brien is saying in that interview there, going, listen, the Democrats have lost and left the working men of this country and women?
What you're picking up is the frustration that Sean and and his brothers and the Teamsters have said. I mean, 60% of the Teamsters voted not to support a Democrat for the first time in 4 decades. I mean, if you want to go back, that's what he said is 40 years. And I've been all over Texas. I've been all over Florida. We've been in Nevada. We've been in Arizona. We've been in Ohio, headed to Pennsylvania. We've had the privilege of traveling all over the place with our Senate candidates, plus with President Trump and JD. And I'm telling you, people are just frustrated with the way government is acting right now. I mean, even in your last segment with Governor Huckabee, when he brought up the FEMA director saying that people shouldn't criticize them, I think it was Reagan that said the 9 most terrifying words you can hear is in the English language. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but it says, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. So, don't count all the words if I'm messed up on that, but I'm just paraphrasing what Reagan said. And so now you get into the position where how dare we criticize the media, the left, they come after you if you do. How dare now you criticize FEMA or anybody from the government and the response? How dare you criticize the response on the southern border? And people are just upset, Sean. And that's the feeling that I get too. I ran for Congress for the first time years ago, my first time out, and I said, I'm fed up. And that's all I need to say. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with the direction that our country is going. I'm fed up with the way we're headed. And I think people are saying the same thing. They're like, let's go back to what we had 3.5 years ago underneath Trump. We were secure on the border. We were respected around the world, and our economy was thriving. Why wouldn't we want to repeat those 4 years?
And it was almost 60 years ago to the day that Ronald Reagan, in his A Time for Choosing speech, famously said that those founding fathers also knew, outside of its legitimate functions, government does nothing as well or as economically as the private sector of the economy.
Deegan, you're 100% right, because I've always said this. Anytime government says they created 5,000 jobs, be it the Republican Party or the Democrat Party, I always roll my eyes because I say, no, government should never create a job. Government is to create an atmosphere for entrepreneurs to create those jobs. And this is the same thing, too. If those in North Carolina or in Florida or in disaster tornado zones in Oklahoma or from flooding around the country, if we have to wait on the federal government to respond, we're going to be waiting for the rest of our life. The neighbors are the ones that come in and help. It's the state, the local officials that live in the backyard that'll come in and help. And that's why we have what we call the Oklahoma Standard. It's neighbors helping neighbors. And we get on our feet quick. I guarantee you're going to see this in Florida, and you're going to see this in North Carolina. It's not FEMA that's going to respond. Yeah. It's the local people that's going to respond. And then we're going to be fighting against FEMA to get reimbursed if they ever do reimburse.
Real quick, Markwayne, polling will say that the issues are the economy or inflation, the border, foreign policy. Are you picking up any other issues out there? Are people talking about other issues that we're not seeing in the polling right now?
I think one of the things that we don't see a lot is the education. People are extremely frustrated, especially what they see happening on their college campuses and your senior high schools. People are frustrated about the education system. Remember, we all woke up during COVID on what was going on. And I think if Trump would have been in office, that would have been addressed. What you're seeing since the Biden-Harris administration is they've kind of just tried to silence it. They're not really paying attention to it. The media isn't out there talking about it. But as someone that has 3 kids in a public school system and 3 kids at a state university, I can tell you that there's some concerns that's going on, and everybody's paying attention to it, and that's the underlying belly. And I think we're going to have to address the education system and try to say, hey, does Washington, D.C. really need to be weighing in on this, or do we need to put it back in the communities, back in the state's hands, where they understand our kids and understand what we're trying to teach? Right. But that's one thing that's brought up everywhere I go, Sean, that's not even being polled right now.
I just, before we go, I want to mention that Sean O'Brien admitted that the Teamsters in his 2.5 years there have given Democrats almost $16 million and $340,000 to Republicans. So that is stone cold stupid. Senator Markwayne Mullin. Great to see. We got it right. I just wanted to just smack him on the, a little bit.
Broken Arrow, Oklahoma looks beautiful.